Welcome to Silent Secrets. In today's video, we're uncovering something most men never truly grasp, yet every woman feels at her core. They say women want a good man, a kind man, a man who listens, who texts back fast, who never forgets to compliment her, and who always makes her feel wanted. Sounds perfect, right? But if that's really all it takes, then why is it that the man who barely tries, the quiet one who doesn't chase, is the one who lingers in her mind long after he's gone? Why is it the man who doesn't overshare, who observes more than he speaks, who moves like he's already seen 100 lives before this one, that she can't stop thinking about? Here's the truth. Most people avoid saying out loud. Women aren't addicted to attention. They're addicted to tension. And the man who understands that, the man who knows how to hold back his words, his emotions, his presence, and creates something no nice guy ever can. This isn't about manipulation, it's about mastery, emotional control. So if you've ever wondered why the man who acts like he's nothing becomes everything in her mind, stay right here, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why silence, patience, and calm are far more powerful than words, gifts, or constant attention. Stop proving yourself. Let her wonder. Most men don't even realize how much they're performing. From the moment we're young, we're told, be impressive. Be charming, be funny, win her over. But the moment you start trying to prove your worth, you've already lost it. Why? Because the act of proving silently admits doubt. If you were sure of yourself, you wouldn't need to perform. Women aren't drawn to the man who lays all his cards on the table. They're drawn to the man who knows what he holds and doesn't feel the need to explain it. He's grounded. He's centered. He's complete. And when a woman meets that kind of man, the one who doesn't bend for approval, her brain can't stop turning. She wonders, does he even like me? Why isn't he chasing? Why does he seem so unbothered? And the moment she starts wondering, you've already created the invisible pull that every great connection begins with. Tension, not arrogance, not distance, but stillness. The Stoics called it self-containment, a kind of inner peace that doesn't depend on anyone else's reaction. You don't need validation. You don't need to be liked. You are enough, without performance. And that's what makes you magnetic. Because here's the paradox. When she doesn't know if she fully has your attention, she invests more of hers. When she doesn't know exactly what you feel, she starts to feel more. So stop proving, let her curiosity breathe. Most attractive man in any room isn't the one who's loud. It's the one who's quietly centered. Drop this in the comments if you agree. I choose calm. 2. Her mind doesn't crave comfort. It craves uncertainty. If you want her to think about you when you're not around, don't give her clarity. Give her contrast. Most men try too hard to be transparent. They text constantly, explain everything, promise consistency. They think comfort creates connection. But in attraction, comfort kills curiosity. A woman's emotional wiring doesn't crave constant reassurance. It craves the unknown, the subtle space between what she feels and what she can't quite read in you. Psychologically, this is called emotional tension, and it's what her brain is wired to chase. Back when survival meant securing the best possible partner, men who were mysterious weren't a red flag. They were a signal of value. If he wasn't easily available, he must be selective. If he wasn't chasing, he must already have abundance. Even in today's world of notifications and instant replies, that primal code remains. So when you become a man who doesn't flood her with energy, who moves slowly, deliberately, with intention, she starts to feel more. You become the question mark she wants to solve. She replays your tone, your pauses, your quiet confidence. She tells her friends, I can't read him. He's different. That's not manipulation. That's psychology. It's called intermittent reinforcement. When your energy and attention are given unpredictably, her mind stays alert, emotionally invested, waiting for the next dose of validation. You don't withhold affection out of cruelty. You do it out of control. You understand that your presence has weight, so you don't text instantly. You don't explain every silence. You give attention, but you make it mean something. Because when everything's available all the time, nothing has value. A man who gives less, but with depth, is remembered. A man who gives constantly, without restraint, fades into the background. If you understand that, type this in the comments. I use tension. Act like you've been there before. A man who doesn't flinch. Changes the atmosphere of a room. He walks in slowly. His eyes scan the scene. He's not performing, not reacting, just existing with ease. He doesn't chase attention, but it finds him. That's what it means to act like you've been there before, most. Men lose composure the second they're around a woman they find attractive. They talk too much. They laugh too loud. They lean forward like she's sacred. And in that moment, the energy shifts. She's no longer drawn in. She's evaluating. But when you stay calm, when you treat her like another human being, not a trophy, everything flips. Now she's curious, because your energy tells her, you're beautiful. But I've seen beauty before. I'm not impressed by appearances. I'm drawn to essence. That's emotional authority. It's not arrogance. It's self-possession. You've seen life. You've felt loss. You've built yourself. And because of that, you move through moments like you belong in all of them. The Stoics called this ataraxia, unshakable calm. You don't chase validation. You radiate it. You don't compete for attention. You command it, quietly. So the next time you walk into a room, slow your pace. Relax your shoulders. Keep your chin level. Look before you speak. You don't have to dominate. You just have to be still enough for the world to notice. Say it in the comments if this is your energy. Move calm, give less, and she'll feel more. We've been told love is about giving everything, but real attraction isn't built through overflow. It's built through space. If you flood her with attention, messages, emotions, and affection too soon, you leave her no room to feel anything on her own. Desire grows in distance. Think of your favorite song. The first time it hits you hard, play it 5 times, still beautiful. Play it on repeat for hours. It becomes noise. The same happens with people. If she never has to miss you, she'll never feel for you. So when you give less, not out of fear, but out of balance, you give her a chance to yearn. That space is where emotions multiply. You don't need to ghost her. You don't need to play cold. You simply need to live. Be unavailable sometimes, because you actually are. Speak less because you're comfortable with silence. Compliment less because your words hold more when they're rare. When your attention becomes a luxury, your presence becomes addictive. That's not manipulation. That's value alignment. Say it with me in the comments. I move with precision. Let her chase your calm. Calm energy is rare. Most people bring noise, anxiety, speed, need. Calm men bring gravity. When you sit across from a woman, steady, relaxed, grounded, she feels it instantly. Because your silence doesn't scream, I'm unsure. It whispers, I'm whole. And that's something people can't ignore. Calm men aren't passive. They're anchored. They don't mirror chaos. They absorb it. Then stay still. That contrast draws her in. When she can't shake your peace, she starts to crave it. Because calm men don't depend, they decide. Their energy says, you can bring your emotions, your charm, your chaos. But none of it changes my center. That's rare, that's magnetic, and it's unforgettable. If you live by this, comment, I protect my peace. Pass her tests without reacting. Every woman tests. Not because she's cruel, but because she's instinctively checking. Can I trust his strength? Not muscles, emotional stability. She'll tease, delay, challenge, or provoke. Not to humiliate you, but to feel your edge. The moment you react, defend, explain, or panic, she knows your balance is fragile. But when you stay calm, unshaken, her respect deepens. She realizes she's dealing with a man who doesn't break at pressure. That's when attraction turns into admiration. Don't take her tests personally, they're not attacks. They're reflections of curiosity, and the calm man always passes because he never plays. Defense, he smiles, he breathes, he stays still, and he doesn't need to win the moment, he already owns. Drop this if you live unreactive. Hold my frame. Keep her guessing your intent. Curiosity fuels obsession. If she knows exactly how you feel, the spark fades. If she's unsure, she leans closer. Every look, every silence, every delay becomes meaningful. You don't need to be mysterious for show. Just live with purpose beyond her. That naturally makes you unpredictable. Don't confess too soon. Don't explain every motive. Just be real, calm, and selective. Because the moment she's certain she has you, her curiosity dies. But when she's still wondering what's going on in his mind, she's hooked. Mystery isn't absence, it's depth. If that's the energy you're mastering, type, I create mystery. Be emotionally expensive. Your emotions are your currency, and when you give them freely, they lose value. The world is full of cheap attention, likes, hearts, instant replies, but rare emotions. Those are gold. Be emotionally expensive, not distant, not robotic, measured. You feel deeply, but you reveal slowly. You don't hand your heart to anyone who asks. You let people earn access. Because when she feels that your attention, your empathy, your affection aren't automatic, she values them. And the more she values them, the deeper she invests. If you agree, say it. Raise my value. Control the frame. Or lose it all. Every interaction has a silent power dynamic. The frame. Whoever controls the frame controls the meaning. Most men walk into a woman's frame. They adjust, explain, defend, and lose presence. But the man who sets the tone, calmly and subtly, leads. He doesn't argue. He doesn't dominate. He defines the emotional rhythm of the moment. Frame control isn't loud, it's composure. You decide what's acceptable, not by rules, but by example. That's how she feels safe, intrigued, and respected all at once. If you're that kind of man, say it. I hold the frame. 10. Become her obsession by acting like you're optional. Here's the ultimate paradox of attraction. The man who doesn't need her is the one she can't let go of. When your life already feels full, when your happiness doesn't hinge on her attention, you become magnetic. Because your energy says, I'm here because I choose to be, not because I need to be. And that changes everything. You're not indifferent. You're fulfilled. You're not cold. You're whole. The Stoics lived this truth centuries ago. Happiness isn't control. It's contentment. They didn't cling. They walked, and people followed. When you act like you're optional, you remind her that you are rare. You're not desperate for validation. You are already validated by your purpose. And that right there is the quiet force that creates obsession, because every other man tries to hold her tight. But you can let go. And that's exactly why she'll hold on harder. If this resonates, drop this final declaration, I choose peace over approval. If you've made it here, you're not like most people. You're not chasing tricks or lines, you're building presence. The kind of presence that commands a room, without needing to say a word. That's the Stoic path. That's the path of mastery. You don't seek validation. You radiate it. You don't chase attention. You attract it naturally through stillness, purpose, and peace. So if you're ready to keep evolving, to grow sharper, calmer, and unshakably grounded, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Silent Secrets and join our brotherhood of men walking the same path, where control meets compassion and calm becomes power. I'm Amelia, and this is Silent Secrets. See you in the next one.